Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon or good evening, wherever you are joining me from. I'm Trish Lindo, and welcome to Too Ambitious. I'm so happy that you all are here today. I have such a sweet treat for you guys. Get it? Sweet treat. That's my own attempt at comedy fail. Anyway, I am super excited that you all are here today. If this is your first time joining the show, this is a show that celebrates Black women and women of color founders who are innovators, disruptors, and yes, very ambitious. Now, today, like I said, the sweet surprise that I have is that one of the founders of Southern Girl Desserts is here. Shoneji Robison is a gifted artist, a savvy businesswoman who helped to build a super successful bakery in Los Angeles with her co-founder, Catarah Coleman. Now, Shoneji aligned her passion for baking and entrepreneurship to create a sustainable small business that is still going strong after 17 years. Can you believe it? Now, I want everybody to show her some love. I want her to feel the love through the screen. Give me all the heart emotions and welcome Shoneji to the show. Welcome, Shoneji.
Good morning.
Yay!
Hi, Trish. Thank
I'm
you for having me this morning. This is awesome.
Yes, you are so welcome. Now we got to put out the disclaimer, because we both went to FAMU,
We
we're
did.
FAMU grabs,
That's right.
so we're gonna try and keep it cute, but we might cut up a little bit as FAMUans do. We're gonna strike and strike
That's
again,
right. That's right.
For those of you who don't know, it's Florida A&M University. We both went to that university, and we are both graduates of Florida
That's
A&M
right. We didn't
University.
just go. We
That's right.
graduated.
That's right. So like I said, I'm so happy that you're here today to hear all about your journey to opening such a successful business. So let's get into it. I only got a short time with you, and you are a very busy woman. So let's start off by just kind of finding out. You moved out to Los Angeles, right? To start off on another path, not necessarily to, open a bakery like was intended, but what was the original intention when you moved to Los Angeles?
So I was always into theater and acting and all the things. I actually graduated from a performing arts school in high school. And so that was really my passion. I wanted to get into film and television. So I decided to make the leap and move to Los Angeles in 2000. Gosh, that's so long ago. And I was going to just, hit the pavement and become a star. Um, so yes, that was the original plan of moving to LA.
I love it. Well, I just want to say that you're still a star. Okay. So it doesn't matter, the star quality is still there, you know. I want to say too, some of the things that, a lot of people hear about Los Angeles is that it's a city of dreams, right? You can be anything you want to be when people come out there. So,
Absolutely.
you realize that, early on that even though you were pursuing acting, that there were other things that interested you, like baking, and you were baking, you were cooking. When did you realize that that could be more than a hobby?
So interestingly enough, the baking, the cooking, all of those things I've been doing since I was a little girl. I'm a
Mhm.
Southern girl at heart. And so,
Hey.
it's always, you're in the kitchen helping your mother or your grandmother. And in my case, my dad. My dad is an awesome cook as well. So I've always had the gift, but I didn't recognize that it was a gift. So once I got out to LA, I'm pursuing this thing, and I'm working these side hustle jobs and whatnot. The baking was always something that kept coming back around. Actually, at one point, I had a hairstylist that you know as well,
Yeah.
and she would always say, "You know what? Bake me something." And so she would challenge me to do these different things that I didn't think I could do. And so one day I decided, I was sitting at my desk. I worked at the Avon corporate office in Pasadena. And I was sitting at my desk and I said, you know what? I want to start a bakery. And I started putting pen to paper and or fingers to keyboard, and putting together what that would look like and kind of the plan of how I would see that going. But the baking was something that just kept coming back to me over and over again. I kept trying
Right.
to run from it. I did not want to embrace that as the thing that would be, what I would be doing with my life.
Right.
So it was a really interesting full circle moment to come back to that and it actually be the thing that sustained me for all these years.
Yeah. Well, when you talk about, you put pen to paper or you typed it up and put those dreams out there, it is a bit of manifestation, right? You know?
Absolutely.
And so when you're thinking about like, okay, I'm going to start this bakery, were you sort of scared at all? Because this is not originally what you came out to LA to do, you know?
So actually, no, there was no fear. And
Mm.
here's alignment. So I'm putting together this plan and I share it with one of my closest friends. And
Right,
she says, wait, there's somebody else from FAMU that has already started
right.
this bakery. You two need to meet each other and talk.
Oh my
And
God.
so she introduced us. Katara and I had maybe run into each other maybe a couple times, but we were introduced formally. And I went to her house. She had actually gotten like the name and all the things for Southern Girl Dessert.
Wow.
And so she may have been in business 4 or 5 months or so.
Okay.
And so, it was really new, it was fresh for her, and she was doing something completely different than once I came on board. But
Right.
after 30 minutes of a conversation, we were business partners, and we really had the opportunity to build a business together from the ground up.
That's incredible. Yeah, that is alignment to a T, and I love that. And I love that, you put it out there, and once you start putting it out there, it just keeps coming back. People are like, "You know what? I got somebody for you." You
Yes,
know? Yeah,
yes.
so that's amazing. So, you both are in this business together. You started this business together. Can you talk a little bit about the actual business of birthing this bakery? How did you all get the initial funding to basically grow the business.
So with us, we tell this story all the time. We kind of did everything wrong as far as like in the business world.
Right, right, right.
We funded everything ourselves. Like we were spending our own money to do these things. And for a long time, we were running this business from two separate places because we started out of our apartments. And she lived in Inglewood. I lived in North Hollywood. And we were
Right.
running this business, doing our own thing, so to speak, but yet we were under the same umbrella of the
Got
of the
it.
name.
Yeah,
So it really was me saying, you know what? No, we've got to come up with consistency of a product,
yeah,
and really what business is about, figuring out what this menu is going to look like so that people can actually order the same things if they would like and know that each time it's going to taste like it tasted the first time they tried it.
right.
Because like I
Yeah,
said, we were doing different things. She in the beginning was doing like miniature pies and banana puddings and things like that. And then I
okay.
come with this full menu of cakes and cobblers and all these things
Right,
that
right,
are
right.
now our menu, that she necessarily did not do. Frosted, decorated cakes and things that she
Okay.
didn't necessarily do. So it was
Right.
really a matter of us finding our strengths and weaknesses and figuring out how we could excel in those areas to catapult the business to, a really great place.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that journey at the beginning is never easy, because you're learning, while building the business and growing the business. And that can't be easy. What was that time like for you? Can you describe it? What was that feeling, the emotions you were dealing with at that time?
So it was a setup. I'm gonna tell you. For us, it was a setup because it was easy in the beginning for us. It
Mhm.
came so easily. everything was just rolling. We were getting all this business. And because I actually was in the industry, I moved here for acting and I actually did do some things. So I had formed a lot of relationships in the, Hollywood industry. So I had people who, had a little name recognition that would mention the name of our business, and the name would start to spread.
Yeah.
So it was really easy, like the first few years. And that's why I always laugh and say we got set up because we thought this was going to be smooth sailing.
Right.
And then the hammer dropped, right?
Right.
So what happened was once we got into our very first brick and mortar location, which is at the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall, we opened that location in 2012. We had another shared space a few
Mhm.
years prior, but
Mhm.
that even was simple. There was no kitchen there. We were still baking at home or either at commercial kitchens, and we were taking, product there. So we had, little numbers that we would meet, for
Yeah.
each day. So it wasn't until we actually opened our brick and mortar location, our flagship store,
Mhm.
um, and started hiring people. At that point, we had 24 employees.
Wow.
So we went from, basically just she and I to 24 people that we were now responsible for, in creating systems and putting things in place. That's when it became really real. I
Oh my
do
God.
I do think it was great that we had, you know, the experiences that we had. Obviously, all of those things help in
Mhm.
in creating the foundation, and
Right.
all of those things are necessary for
Yeah.
you to know what to do when the time comes. But
Mhm.
yeah, it was 2012 really that things just went whoa, and it got tight.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, you've got, 24 employees, personalities, schedules to create, teaching them how you do things the right way and everything like that. Um, how did you kind of get out of that phase? How did you and Qatar sort of navigate that? Did you have to bring in like a coach or did you all just kind of figure that out too? You know?
No, no. So, to be really honest, all the systems really that are in place with how our business runs, that was something that I had to just kind of figure out.
Yeah.
Um, you know, it was trial and error. It was what makes sense. And at the end of the day, it was about productivity and
Yeah.
efficiency. How do we get there? So we, like I said, we kind of did things backwards
Yeah.
because it was really more even for us on the job training,
Mhm. Yep.
and just figuring out how this was going to come together. But I think because it was from a real authentic place, um, that's how we've been able to kind of sustain
Yeah.
and keep this train moving, because we did what was real and true for us.
Right.
We weren't trying to really figure out what other people were doing. We
Yeah.
wanted to know what worked best for our business, for our brand, and that's really what we stick to.
Right.
In any business class, they teach you, you need to know what the competition is doing. And that is true, right?
Right.
You need to know what's happening, but you don't have to study them to the point where, you're trying to emulate or
Right.
duplicate what they're doing because you can never do that.
No.
So I have this saying all the time. I'm like, we just stay in our lane. We
Right.
do what's true for us.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I think that's how we've been able to stick around for all these years.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta run your own race, as they say.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so tell me a little about, Cupcake Wars and how that happened, because I think that was so amazing. I think that is one of the things that, really sort of like, gave you national attention. Um, where did that come about? Did you just apply to be on Cupcake Wars?
So, one of the beauties of living in Hollywood, and again, having these relationships that we have,
Right.
um, it really is just a phone call. You know, the
Mhm.
phone calls have come for us, and we've answered the call and been ready to go. And it was funny because our very first national television appearance wasn't even Food Network; it was HGTV.
Oh,
There was a show; it was called the Antonio Treatment,
yeah.
and so that was our first appearance, and that thing is international. Somebody actually sent a clip a few years ago. It was playing in Brazil, and it was dubbed
No
in
way.
Portuguese. And so it was so funny. I'm like, okay, well, here we go. But with Cupcake Wars, that phone call came after, you know, I think they were just looking for businesses in the LA area
Okay.
that did cupcakes.
Yeah.
And so because of our showing on that show, we actually were on season 1, season 3, and season 8. They called
Oh
us,
my God.
2 additional times after that initial one because we were on the very first show that aired.
Mm. Oh my God.
Mhm.
I never knew it was like the very first
It was
show.
the very first show. And
Wow.
so we had no point of reference. We we didn't know what we were getting into. But let me tell you, that Cupcake Wars, we didn't know how huge that was.
Mm.
After doing that show, we were getting calls from all over the place. We were flown to Australia to represent the United States for the
Oh,
cake, bake, and sweet show. We were doing, these international baking demonstrations in front of thousands of people, for days at a time. Um, all because we had been on this show, and Cupcake Wars was new to Australia. Like
yes.
it was old for us here,
Yeah.
but it was new for them. And so, they treated us like real life celebrities over there. It was the coolest experience.
Oh my God. It's absolutely wonderful to hear and to kind of know that you had that international experience and exposure. What was that feeling like for both of you? Were they flying y'all out on private jets and stuff?
Not quite private, no.
Okay.
Some of us are not there yet.
Mhm.
But I mean, the experiences have been amazing.
Yeah.
Another show again because of Cupcake Wars, we got a call from the Dr. Oz show, and from that airing, we were flown to Italy.
Wow.
It's been such an amazing journey, and so Katara and I, we actually sometimes look at each other and we're like, all of this from cake? Like,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
knew,
Yeah.
that all of this could happen from, confections? But
Yes.
it has, and it's been fantastic.
Yes, absolutely. Listen, people love their sweet treats, you
They
know.
do. They
It
do.
makes people happy, so I think you guys obviously tapped into something that everybody could obviously relate to,
Yeah.
so let's talk about some of the treats that have made you so super successful. What are some of the big ones for you all that have been, mouth watering, people keep coming back for more and more and more?
So, we like to tell people we were the first company to bring the sweet potato cupcake to the West Coast.
Ooh,
Now, I'm not
yes.
saying somebody at home wasn't making sweet potato cupcakes, okay? But what I
Right,
am saying is there were no bakeries that had
right,
these items on their menu.
right.
So we're happy to have been an inspiration to so many other bakeries around town. And we, again, like I said, we stay in our lane. So we're Southern girls. We actually
Yeah.
didn't grow up on cupcakes. We grew up
Mm.
on cake slices. So we
Yes.
just kind of turned some of those favorite things into, the little cupcake versions. So we
Yeah.
do like our Hennessy and Coke cupcake, our sweet
Mm.
potato cupcake, anything with a sweet potato, like we got it. We have sweet potato cookies, sweet potato bread pudding,
Yes.
sweet potato bundt cakes, sweet
Ooh,
potato cupcakes. Honey, we gonna work a sweet potato, okay?
Yes, yes. Sweet
Because
potatoes are
that's
good for
the
you
Southern
too.
thing, that's a true Southern staple. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I love it. I mean, Southern girls to a T, just up there baking and everything like that. Some of these recipes are from your family, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
the majority of the recipes come from either my family or Catarah's family,
okay.
um, and then some of them I've created on my own. Like we've had to tweak these, like I said, over the years because we had to create some consistency. And
Right.
anybody from the South, y'all know when you get a recipe from your grandma, or your auntie, or somebody, it's like, well, you put a little of this and a little of that. So we never really had real
Right.
recipes.
Right. Right.
We had to really kind of figure out measurements
Yes.
to make it work. But yeah, we do like our peach cobbler cupcakes, our Hennessy and Coke cakes, our sweet potato, banana pudding, all of these things in cake
Yeah.
versions or cupcake versions.
Yeah.
Um, and the peach cobbler has been such a hit that we created our own mix that we sell.
What? That's
Mhm.
amazing. Where can they, is that like in stores, right?
So we sell it on our website. We also sell it on Goldbelly, which we
Mm,
also ship nationwide through Goldbelly. So yeah, you can find these things there. It's our peach cobbler dessert seasoning mix. And what it
mm.
does is it creates the perfect peach cobbler filling with no work, really and truly. It's so simple and it's so good.
Oh my God. Right now my mouth is watering. I'm vegan, but and I remember you guys used to have some vegan treats, but we know you don't do that. But but
We do it. We do it, but it has to be ordered in advance. We
okay.
tried to have the vegan items. Honestly, we tried to have the vegan items available every day, but they just weren't selling. That's not our customer, really, you know.
No, no.
So the 3 or 4 of y'all that come every month, it just won't sustain. And y'all know in business, if it ain't making dollars, it ain't making sense. Okay. So
That part, I'm mad you said the 3 or 4 of y'all. That's hilarious. But you're right. You gotta focus on the bottom line, right? And you're right. If it's not doing numbers, you can't do it.
you can't do
So
it.
I get it. Talk about some of the customers that have keep coming back. You guys have had some super famous people as well that are very passionate about Southern Girl desserts. I know you don't like the name drop. I know you don't like the name drop, but share a couple.
Yeah, I mean, that's been such a thing over the years. And we see it in LA, and please, this is no diss to anybody.
Right.
But we don't do like the pictures in store
Right.
and all the things.
No.
Um, but we have had some amazing support from some pretty dope people.
Okay.
Some of them come in stores, some of them send their drivers, some of them just place the order and have it delivered, but we appreciate so many of them. I will say that Miss Pauletta and Denzel Washington are two of our biggest faithful customers for years and years and years. They consistently support us. They order from us.
Yeah.
And they've just been pretty integral with the support of our business. And we appreciate them so much.
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder comes in,
What?
into the store. We've had him in store a few times. Miss Debbie Allen, she's amazing.
Yes.
She would come into the store, and this is, COVID, God darn it, boo, because it really stopped a lot of people from coming and just relaxing
Right.
and chilling. So, but a lot of these people have been such huge, huge, huge supporters of Southern Girl Desserts, and there's so many more,
Yeah.
and we can't thank them enough.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you talk about COVID, I mean, everybody's business in some form or fashion was impacted by that. What was your experience? What was Southern Girl Desserts experience during COVID?
Well, actually, for us, COVID created like one of the best years in our business because
Yes.
our online sales went through the roof. So I mentioned that we ship nationwide through Goldbelly.
Mhm.
And ironically, COVID and the murder of George Floyd, that was
Mm,
all happening at the same time. And let's be honest, a lot of companies, corporations, they were looking for small businesses, Black owned businesses that they could support.
right. Yeah.
And so because people were inside, companies wanted to send gifts to their employees, whether it was for
Yes.
Christmas or Thanksgiving. I think in what was that, 2020 or 2021, the months of November and December, I think we shipped maybe 12,000 boxes of
What?
dessert.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
So we are thankful to Stars and Amazon and Showtime and
Yes.
Disney and all those huge companies that made the call to us and
Yeah.
entrusted us to send some goodness to their folks during that time.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, it was such a stressful time for all of us, that, people wanted to be comforted, right?
Yeah,
I know I was eating my feelings, I still have
absolutely.
some of the LBs to prove from that as well. So, so I get it, I get why during that time, super successful. It makes sense, you know. Tell me a little bit about, some of the, ways that people can come to the location, people can order from Goldbelly. Can you tell us where are you located in LA? And then, hours of operation, if people are in LA and want to come and visit your location.
Absolutely. So we are actually open 7 days a week, no
Okay.
days off.
Okay.
um,
Right.
Yeah, so Monday through Saturday, we have
Okay.
mall hours. We're open from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. And then
Okay.
on Sundays, we're open from 11 to 7. So you
Okay.
can come into our flagship location, which is located at the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall in historic
Mhm.
Baldwin Hills area, Crenshaw
Yes.
District.
Yeah.
And you can order online, like I said, via Goldbelly. And you can also order if you're local through the apps, Uber Eats,
Yes.
DoorDash, honey,
Yeah.
they'll come pick it up and bring it on to you. So if
I
you get
love
a
it.
little hankering during the day, just hit the
That's
button.
right. Yes, yes, I love it. I love the convenience of that too. As we wrap up here, tell me how are you feeling right now with the success of your business and how far you want to go? How are you feeling about your business right now? And what do you look to the future for Southern Girl Desserts?
That's a great question. I actually just had a staff meeting on Cinco de Mayo, which was
Okay.
our 12-year anniversary in our location.
Wow.
And it was very emotional for Catarah and myself because sometimes we get so caught up in running the business that we forget that we're doing a good job.
Yes.
And we're not doing something that is just normal and easy to do.
Right.
We're two Southern girls, transplants from down south, small towns, and
Hmm.
we've come to this city and really done something that has sustained and people enjoy it and people mention our names. So we're really proud of ourselves
Yeah.
for,
Yeah.
for what we have done.
Yeah.
We definitely see Southern Girl continuing to grow in the future. It may not be with other store locations because no,
Hmm.
thank you.
Yeah.
But we're looking to have items on shelves and
Love.
just become one of those names that people will recognize.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I love that goal. And then my final question to you, Shoniji, and I appreciate your time, is, do you consider yourself ambitious?
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
am very ambitious. I'm someone who has lofty goals and dreams, and some people may look at it and be like, girl. And I'm like, girl. Because I feel like whatever we set our minds to, I think we're all capable
Yeah.
of reaching that if we put in the work.
Yeah.
So, one of my favorite Bible verses, is faith, without works is dead. And that's the thing. It's like you can have all the faith you want, but if you ain't doing nothing, so work for whatever it is that you have your
Right.
mindset on. And
Right.
it's possible. Like just go get that thing.
Yes, I know that's right. Go get it and make it do what it do, as they say, you know. We got Dan Roth asking a question. Can Trish get a cupcake named after her? No pressure. See, Dan, you trying to get me in trouble. Now, I appreciate you, though. I appreciate
Sorry, Dan.
No, well, I want to thank you so much, Dan, for your question. And thank you, everyone, for joining. Shoneji, I appreciate your time.
Thank you for
Um,
having me.
Yes, absolutely. Continued success to you and Catarah for Southern Girl Desserts. What you have created is truly extraordinary and inspiring as well. So thank you. Thank you. You know,
Thank you.
um, I appreciate everyone who joined today. Make sure you join me next week for another incredible woman entrepreneur who is doing big things. I will see you all next week right here, Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific. Thank you all for watching. Bye.